Welcome to the Map It Forward podcast, everybody. Today's podcast is brought to you by Elixir Specialty Coffee. Elixir is currently offering free shipping on all Elixir Trios from now until Thanksgiving 2019. Head to elixirspecialtycoffee.com and check out our offerings there. Or if you're on the Elixir mailing list or the Map It Forward mailing list, you will see links show up in your mailbox this week. Today on the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, we're talking about we're talking about brewing technology, brewing, roasting, and production technology. And the reason I paused a little bit before I said that was because I was thinking of many different ways that this subject could be presented. Because like with a lot of the subjects that we're talking about this past week or so, what I want to talk about today is going to challenge a few people and they may find it controversial. The reason being, what the core of what I want to talk about is the roasting and brewing technology versus the attention that we place on the supply chain. There are lots of different ways to say that, and I'm trying to put it in a way that's not negative, because this isn't a subject that we should be casting blame with. And a few people may see that as blame casting, but it's not. What I want to talk about is this obsession that we have at this end of the supply chain, the front end. And by front end, I mean in the roastery or the cafes, where we take the green coffee, turn it into roasted coffee. We take roasted coffee and turn it into a consumer product that's going to be the end of the supply chain, which is with the customer that consumes it. And we have this obsession with technology. We have this obsession with upscaling and doing so much with the equipment that we have and continuously reviving that technology. And there is, in my opinion, an important need for that to happen. But, and I've been saying this for at least a decade, if we took 50% of the budget that we allocate to equipment and to investment in innovation, and we put that budget towards marketing to a community of coffee drinkers that could be brought over to specialty coffee. They could be brought over to understanding why it's important to pay more money for coffee. We could be attributing the marketing budget to help people understand that there is a serious problem with the supply chain at the back end of the coffee supply chain, so where it exists with the producer. We could be helping people understand that there is a coffee price crisis going on, and it may long-term affect their ability to have access to coffee. Coffee may become a boutique product, and we don't want that for people. What we want is coffee to be accessible to everybody, and for there to be a broad spectrum of ways that people can experience coffee. And we want all of those options to be adequately and fairly subsidized. But right now they're not. And since they're not, I really want to bring this to people's attention, because every day I scroll through Instagram and I see another company that is, puffing themselves up because they bought a brand new coffee machine for like the third year. From now, it was 3 years since they bought their last coffee machine. Or they keep buying new scales, keep buying new little gadgety things, keep buying a whole bunch of new stuff, where what they could be doing is releasing marketing campaigns, holding cupping sessions that goes a long way to informing the public why is this important? If you don't watch or listen to the other version of our podcast, the long format conversations that we have with people from the coffee supply chain, then what you will be missing is a massive backstory to this. Coffee is in crisis. Like, not just a joke, haha, like, yeah, that word gets bandied around a lot to hype things. No, for real people, coffee is in crisis. And what does that really mean? And should you pay attention to it? Because is it really a crisis if there's still too much coffee in the world? Because there's too much coffee being produced compared to what's being consumed. Now, if you're watching this, I'm guessing you're probably in the specialty coffee world. And therein lies the key to you understanding how much of a crisis this actually is. So, there is a lot of coffee being produced. The problem is that there's not enough specialty grade coffee being produced in order to meet the demand. And with all the climate shifting that's going on, this is going to become more and more of a problem. So there's a fuck ton of commercial grade coffee being produced that isn't at specialty grade, and it's being stockpiled because the producers are not able to sell it quickly enough. But specialty coffee is not being produced quickly enough, and it is heavily based on the price of the C market. As much as you may want to believe that it is not dependent on the C market, it is, because a lot of the people in the supply chain base everything that they see on the C market and add differentials, which are little bits on top of the C market that they put so that they can have indicators for things like if it's organic or if it scores a certain amount or flavor profiles, etc., etc. Okay. Now, if you're to say, but we need the technology in order to bring our customers the product that they want, I'm not suggesting that you don't. And I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't be putting in as much effort as possible to produce the best quality cup that we can. What I'm saying is that perhaps we don't have to continually upgrade our equipment as much as we do and funnel some of the funds that we're using to continually upgrade, funnel those towards marketing, funnel those towards buying more, paying a better price for coffee, a fairer price for coffee, and ensuring that it gets to the producer. Ensuring that you're supporting buying practices from either importers or through direct relationship buying. You're supporting those practices that ensure that money gets to producers who are looking to reinvest in their own farms and to produce more specialty coffee so that we are flourishing rather than diminishing as an industry. This is a time when we can have an active role in conspiring to our long-term viability. Because it's not guaranteed, friends. It really isn't. And if we're not going to be active and make some smart decisions that enable us to have longevity as an industry, what we are going to end up doing is we're going to be shooting ourselves in the foot. One question that will help you navigate this is, how much of a difference is this going to make in the cup if I buy this piece of equipment? And are the customers that I'm supplying actually in real life really going to be able to taste the difference? Now, if you're serving the kings amongst gods of coffee, and they are your bread and butter, then I get it. But if you're serving the average specialty coffee professional, who wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between an 82 and an 86 coffee. Think about it. Consider it. Make changes and investments that are really going to be noticed by your customers. And if they're not going to be noticed by your customers, both in roasting and in brewing, well then perhaps consider reinvesting that money in a different channel that helps the long-term viability of your business. Don't compete against other people. Don't be buying equipment to keep up with everybody else, because the small proportion of people that notice aren't going to be your bread and butter. They're really not. Find cooler things to talk about with your customers that help them feel great about the supply chain that they're supporting through their buying practices. I don't know how many of them care about the pressure profiling you're using on your espresso machine or not. I don't know if any of them care about whether your roaster has this fandangle thing or the other fandangle thing. They want you to make them a great cup of coffee. They want you to make them feel good. They want to leave knowing that they haven't supported a supply chain that advocates or supports slavery at origin. If this made sense to you, if you agree with what I've said, give me the thumbs up. If not, tell me. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me what else needs to be added to this discussion. I'd love to hear from you. Please don't forget to rate and review and do all that other fun stuff that needs to happen to help the podcast get further. Otherwise, peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.